Welcome to Week 8 ECI 451. This week we focus on reading guides. Your author, the author of your book, McLaughlin, she does not use the term reading guides. She does have a lot of strategies that will qualify to be part of a reading guide. The important thing to know about reading guides is that they are guides that you create or someone creates. You can buy them too. You can find them on the internet that guide a student during reading. So you've learned a lot of strategies in the car book that to use during reading. So this week you really don't have a specific chapter to read in your textbook. Instead, I invite you to look at the tree diagram that I created showing you the different kinds of reading guides that there are, the classification for them. And then I have found or linked the examples of all the different types of reading guides for you to look at below the tree diagram. So the first thing you should do is look over all those reading guides, thinking in your mind which ones would work best with my content area, whether it's health occupations or social studies or what have you. So once you've gone through the reading guide information and examples, you are to create a post for this week. And the post has two pieces to it. The first piece is that you explain two examples from your textbook that you've already looked at and read in another week's work that could be part of a reading guide. And then the second part is to discuss the advantages and if there are disadvantages to using a reading guide or creating reading guides. And that's your post for this week. But know that the reason you're going through all this reading guide learning and activity is to prepare you to make a reading guide for your content area, a real reading guide that you can use with a text. And you can use the text that you used for the readability activity last week, or you can, if you have a class right now that you're teaching, I would recommend you make a reading guide for something your students are actually going to read, so you use it. So that won't be due until after spring break. So this week's post is going to be due, the dates are a little different because of spring break. The post, your original post, will be due Saturday, March 2nd, instead of Sunday. And then your responses to your peers will be due Monday, the 4th. So I'm hoping that y'all can knock this out pretty quickly. I'd love to make peer responses due Sunday, but I think you need at least 48 hours. So, so that's this week's activities. If you have any questions, please feel free to call me. I'll answer as soon as I can. I want to make sure that you don't get confused when your reading guide is due. It's due the week after spring break, but you also have another post and a chapter to read on English as a second language, the English language learners, the students who do not speak English as their first language. So with that having been said, have a great week, and please feel free to call me on my cell phone if you have any questions.